All right, so let's take a look at some odd numbered questions again. Okay, so tangent is positive, and that's going to be in quadrants 1 and quadrants 3. 90 degrees to 270 is quadrant 2 and quadrant 3. So what's in common is going to be quadrant 3. So we're going to put everybody in quadrant 3 now. So I'm going to draw my triangle. So my theta, so opposite side is 5, my adjacent side is 12, so I need to figure out what my hypotenuse is. So 5 squared plus 12 squared is equal to c squared, so 25 plus 144 is equal to c squared, so 169 is equal to c squared, so c is equal to 13. So I want sine of theta, I want cosecant of theta, I want cosine of theta, I want secant of theta, and then I want cotangent of theta. Okay, so cotangent is going to be 12 over 5. That's easy. Sine will be opposite over hypotenuse, so that's 5 over 13, and it's going to be a negative. Cosecant, is going to be a negative also. That's going to be a 13 over, not 15, 13 over 5. Cosine is going to be 12. It'll be negative 12 over 13. Secant will be negative 13 over 12. Okay, and now we'll go to question number 3. So cosecant is positive either in quadrant 1 or quadrant 2. Secant is negative either in quadrant 2 or in quadrant 3. So what do they have in common is quadrant 2. So I'm going to put this in quadrant 2. And I want everybody but secant. So I want sine of theta, cosecant of theta, cosine of theta, tangent of theta, cotangent of theta. Okay, and so I want my theta, my hypotenuse is hypotenuse over adjacent. So I'm looking for not my A side, my B side. I guess it doesn't matter. So 5 squared plus B squared is equal to 7 squared. 25 plus b squared is equal to 49. Subtract 25, so I get 24 is equal to b squared. So b is equal to the square root of 24. And so b is equal to root 4 times root 6. So b is 2 root 6. Okay, so now my sine, let's do cosine first because that's nice and easy. That'll be 5/7. So let's go 2 root 6 here, so it's easier for me to see. So 2 root 6 over 7, and we're in quadrant 2, so that's positive. My cosecant will be 7 over 2 root 6, so that's 7 root 6 over 12. And then tangent, again, I'm doing my rationalizing in my head. My tangent will be 2 root 6 over 5. So then my cotangent, and this is in quadrant 2, so that's negative. Cotangent will be 5 over 2 root 6, which is negative 5 root 6 over 12. Okay. Question number 5. Oh, coterminal and positive and negative. Okay, so 220 degrees. I just said fine, so I didn't say sketch. So if it doesn't say sketch, you don't have to sketch it. So I'm going to add 360 degrees, so 220, and then I'm going to add 360, so I get 140. So I have a positive 140, then I'm going to take a negative 220, and I'm going to subtract 360, so I get a negative 580. And that's my negative coterminal angle. Positive and negative, again, did not say sketch, so you do not have to sketch it. Negative 160, so I'm going to add 360, and I get 200. So 200 is a positive coterminal angle. Negative 160 and a negative 360 would give me a negative 520 degrees. Okay. State what quadrant I'm in for a reference angle of 170 degrees. So quadrant, the quadrant that the terminal side lies in is quadrant 2. And then my reference angle is 180 minus 170. So my reference angle is 10 degrees. And I wouldn't ask you to find like sine, cosines, and tangents right now because that's not in your special triangle. Okay. Negative 520, so I'm going to add 360 for, let's see, negative 160 degrees. So let's add another 360 again, and that gives me a 200. So 200 degrees would be in quadrant 3, and then that does not look like a 3. And then my reference angle is going to be 200 minus 180, which is 20 degrees. Okay. 13, add a 360. So I get a negative 40, add 360 again. So I get a 320. So that's going to put me in quadrant 4. And then my reference angle is 360 minus 320, which is 40 degrees. So my reference angle is 40 degrees. Okay. 15, we're going to simplify some things. So 135 degrees is in quadrant 2, so that makes that a negative tangent. So then tangent is negative, and then 180 minus 135 is equal to 45. So I need a 30-60, I need a 30-60-90 triangle. Root 3, 1, and 2. So secant of 60 degrees is going to be 2. This tangent of 135 degrees, tangent of 45 degrees, if I were to draw my 45, 90 angle, 1, 1, root 2. So tangent is going to be, so that's going to be a negative 1. My cotangent of 60 degrees is going to be minus 1 over root 3 because it's adjacent over opposite. And then my sine of 60 degrees is going to be root 3 over 2. Okay, so then my root 3's cancel out. So I'm left with a negative 2 minus 1/2. So that's negative 5/2. Okay, and then 17, which is our last one, we're going to do 120 degrees. So that's in quadrant 2. Sine is positive. My reference angle is 180 minus 120. So that's 60 degrees. Same thing, quadrant 2, but cosine is negative. The reference angle is still 180 minus 120, which is 60. So this is really sine of 60 degrees over negative cosine of 60 degrees. So if I draw my triangle, 30, 60, 90, root 3, 1, and 2. So the cosine of 60 degrees is going to be, so sine of 60 is root 3 over 2, and the cosine of 60 degrees is it will be a negative 1/2. So I have a root 3 over 2 times a negative 2 over 1, so I get a negative root 3 because my 2's will cancel out. So that's negative root 3. And that is it for these questions.